You guys are.
We hear you loud and clear.
Well, we can hear you now, but we couldn't. Nobody could hear. Thank you.
You can't see you though. Hi, Sheila.
Yeah?
You can't see you though.
Recognize those buddy.
What do you mean you can't see me?
You see a picture, but we can't physically
Well,
see it.
that's what you're stuck with today.
Give us a little bit more than that.
Tough.
Okay. We can call our meeting to order now. And we wish to invite, or I wish to invite Rotarian Alondra to lead us in the grace invocation, Rotary Grace.
Good afternoon, all. We thank thee, O Lord, for thy many blessings. As we meet today in fellowship and service to our fellow men, we thank thee for the foods which thou givest forth from the earth. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Rotarian Alondra. I'll be doing this in a bit impromptu today, so I wish now to invite two-time past President Dottie Ray, if she could lead us in the loyal toast. To the King, Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Thank you, past President Dottie, 2 times.
You have to look different than mine.
You look white.
Last look different than mine.
Okay, yes, you can take your seats. Thank you. Okay, do we have any, well, looking inside the room today, it looks as though we have all Rotary Club of Nassau members. How about on air in Zoom? Do we have any visiting Rotarians with us today? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
She is not a visiting Rotarian, she's a member.
She's
She's a member. She ain't my new name.
Island, from Cat Island, embracing you with my Cat Island presence.
You gotta get used to this now. You remember now, Nikita. All right, any visiting Rotarians with us today? If not, that means that we got all Rotary Club of Nassau and Saturday Club members. Yeah,
I think she's a guest, not a Rotarian.
yeah, okay, we'll get to that, Mr. President. I know you gotta go. All right, okay, do we have any non-Rotarian visiting with us today? Mr. President? Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians and guests. I want to introduce my guest who I'm stealing for the second time. Kendallette, I saw Kendallette on the line, so I'm feeling. Jamie, you propose that Kendallette is your guest. You saying Kendallette is your guest?
Mr. President.
Thank you. So Kendallette, please acknowledge that you're my guest. But I want to introduce, I think it's the second time.
Yes.
Well, she said she did have.
She opened up a camera.
I can't see you, Kendallette.
Okay, I'm like, what's the name of the lady who just said you're stuck with this today?
That's a bad example to follow, but I'm introducing the guest for the second time.
Yes, thank you.
Welcome. I'll see you in the morning.
Yes.
Saturday. No, Saturday.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, President. Right. Okay, so I know some of you might have heard this one before, but I'll say it anyway. Hopefully it brings laughter to yourselves, right? And I know Raquel, probably our past president Raquel always telling these family husband and wife joke and so forth, but that's all I can find. So please forgive me. All right. So a man, his wife, and his mother-in-law went on vacation to the Holy Land. How many of you heard this one already? No? No one? Anyone in Zoom land? Heard this one? Good. Right. So a man, his wife, and his mother-in-law went on vacation to the Holy Land. While they were there, the mother-in-law passed away. An undertaker told them, you can have her shipped home for $5,000, or you can bury her here in the Holy Land for $150. The man thought about it and told him he would just have her shipped home. The undertaker, astonished, asked, why? Why would you spend to ship your mother-in-law home when it would be wonderful to have her buried here and only spend $150? The man said, a man died 2,000 years ago. He was buried here, and 3 days later, he rose from the dead. I just can't take that chance. All right, good. You got some laughs. Huh? No. Very funny, very funny. Right. Okay, so you got some, Delarice. Did you hear my joke?
Yes, I did.
You didn't laugh.
Hello.
Oh, you did? Okay, good. Dietrich, sorry, Dietrich.
My buddy, the wrong name.
All right, so where are we at now?
You're fine, you that.
We are fine, okay. Oh, Rotarians of the nice club, great club of Rotary Club of Nassau. It is my pleasure today to find our very own president, who I beat here to meeting today. So you can't never talk bad about me for coming late. You were at the door. I was waiting for you. So we get a fine from the president, sir, and I see a good father, Reverend Sam Boodle, Walton inside here late as well.
He's wrong at 5.
Right? So we'll take a nice hefty $10 fine. Anyone coming on Zoom late? Immediate past President Chantel? Anyone plugging in late on Zoom?
Secretary Francino, she was the one from 12:30.
Madam Secretary, do you have any late attendees on Zoom?
No, they were all early.
Really?
Yes, it's the truth.
Well, we'll take the secretary. Very good Rotarians on Zoom. But you know what? You all are fine anyway, because we would rather have you here than there. So pay a fine in anyway for being on Zoom and not being here and meeting today with us. All right. Okay, well, that's my segment for this hour. We'll continue to meet in fellowship for a moment. Announcements. Do we have any announcements? Yes, Mr. President?
Oh, call me Madam President. What's going on with this boy, man? Okay, again, a very pleasant good afternoon to all of you. Just in terms of quick updates, as all of you know, this coming Friday and Saturday will be the changeover in Cat Island. And so we're looking forward to an outstanding time. We'll be able to travel and go down there with them. It's going to be, I think, myself, along with Chantel, Sheila, Laverne, and Catherine. So we're all looking forward to going down this coming weekend to join there with the team down there in Cat Island for the changeover. As we would have mentioned on last week, we've been able to confirm for the 26th, I want you to put in your diary, the 26th of August is going to be the back to school program. It's to be partnering with, as always, Stephen Dillard for that back to school program. And so we're going to be looking forward to your participation as we go there and prepare the young students for back to school. So again, mark it on your calendars. Saturday, the 26th of August is going to be for the activities of back to school. So we look forward to participation at that time. One of the very highlights of our program, especially in person, is the wonderful efforts being made by the membership team, chaired none other than Kino. And so I'm sure they've got some wonderful highlights for this week. And so I'm going to invite Kino now to come. Jamie, who is deputized to be able to take over the program for today. So let's welcome Jamie as she comes with the membership spotlight. Coming up, give a better claps than that. Or better applause, Jamie, not claps. Better applause.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Zoom world.
Good afternoon.
Zoom world. Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon, good afternoon, hello.
Afternoon.
Good.
afternoon.
Wonderful. Well, first of all, I'd like to
Good afternoon.
thank you everyone for joining us. So first of all, I'd like to thank the membership chair and director, Ms. Regina McCartney, for granting me this opportunity to present on behalf of the membership committee.
Fine. And yeah, sorry.
Fine, just for disturbing us. Fine, just for disturbing her.
First and foremost, let's talk about celebrations. We have birthdays and anniversaries. So yesterday, can someone tell me what happened? Who celebrated what?
Yes.
Other than the public holiday, anyone in
Anyone in Cat Island?
anyone in Cat Island?
Cat Island representative here, but I'm in Inagua. Whoop, whoop.
So what happened yesterday in Cat Island?
The chairman.
Rotarian Herman,
Chairman Herman.
Chairman Herman,
Oh, wow.
Chat, right, Chair?
Can you kindly repeat the question?
what
Repeat the
happened in
question.
Cat Island RCN Satellite Club yesterday?
Oh,
Uh-huh.
now you make sense.
Herman, Angelique. Former and current chairperson.
Okay. Sorry about that. I'm here at work. Give me the question again.
Oh, gosh.
In case you did not hear, that was a fine. What happened? Can you please tell us what happened yesterday in Cat Island for RCN Satellite Club?
Wow.
Oh, I'm in Inagua. I'm in Inagua, but it was our anniversary. It was our anniversary, right? But
Congratulations, yes. Cat Island, our satellite club in Cat Island celebrated 2 years. So everyone, please, let's congratulate them. We most certainly would not want to forget our birthday celebrations. So yesterday, Rotarian Patricia Claire celebrated her birthday. Let's sing happy birthday for her. And on Friday, Rotarian Lana will be celebrating birthday.
Nice for my buddy. Buddy, is she on today? I think she is.
Yes, she is on today.
Hey, Lana.
That was.
Hey, everybody, just joined, just came back from a trip and yeah, I have to do better. I promise.
Lana, how are you?
I'm great. I'm great. Yeah, I forgot my birthday is Friday. Yeah. Good to see you all.
Wonderful. Happy birthday. We didn't forget your birthday though.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Also celebrating an anniversary on Friday is Rotarian Tamika Dean. She will be celebrating 3 years.
Excellent.
Hey.
And because next week we will have our social for the month of August, we would like to indicate that next week on the 18th of August, that Rotarian, she is actually on the call, so maybe she can tell us it's her birthday.
That would be me. Good afternoon, everyone.
Wonderful. See, we getting everyone involved today. Yes, on the 18th of August will be Rotarian Gabrielle McKenzie's birthday. So can we all please celebrate with them and wish everyone a happy birthday and happy anniversary.
Oh, God. Oh, wow.
That's fine. Not forget.
That's fine.
Not forget. So last week we spoke about all of the exciting things the membership committee has planned for the month of August. And we are continuing because it is the month of August. I just want to put a little plug in, my buddy, Rotarian Jane Marie.
Oh,
That's a little shout out. Hi, buddy.
Hi, buddy. Hey, girl. Hey.
I also want to give a little shout out to my first buddy, Nikita Bolle. Hi, buddy.
Yes, she's on.
Hi, buddy.
Great job.
Now, if you want to give a shout out to you, buddy, please let the membership committee know, and we will be pleased to do so.
Okay, all right.
No, it's free. In line with the membership spotlight, the committee has created a crossword puzzle that every member here has on their desk. Please turn your papers around and over. Now, this crossword consists of all members' names.
Really?
There are 3 different types of puzzles, so not everyone has the same, but we ensured that you have your name in this puzzle. So, for the next 2 to 3 minutes, we would like you to complete this crossword puzzle. The prize is here today, and the first person to complete the puzzle and find all the names will get a prize. So this is your membership activity for the week.
So we're doing it now.
So I guess-
Yes,
I guess
please
I'm not
complete now.
Okay, just time, 2 minutes, we'll get the most in 2 minutes, right?
Yes, because that's all the membership committee has, 2
What you doing? You
minutes.
playing Jeopardy music or something?
Yeah, play some music so I can think.
Francina, you can find some music for us quick, please.
And for our online members and guests, we have not forgotten about you. We have an activity for you today too.
Oh.
So because you're online, it's most fitting that you log on, follow, and like the Rotary Club of Nassau Facebook and YouTube pages. That's a shameless plug for the public
Yes.
committee.
Nice.
Now, you will also receive a prize if you do these things.
They gotta show
So,
proof?
yes, when you like our page, follow us and leave a comment today.
So you have it open so you can check it then?
Yes.
Ah, nice, very
And
good.
for our members, visiting Rotarians and guests, please ensure that you make a comment, mention either your buddy, a member, or the person who invited you today. And please ensure that that person also follow, like, and make a comment on our page today.
So what happened if you don't have a Facebook page? You have to create one?
Yes, ma'am. And we will announce the winners before the meeting is over, and we will ensure that your prizes are delivered to you, or you can let us know now. You can open your mics, let us know now that you have followed, liked, and made a comment. And we will ensure that your buddy, your member, or whomever invited you today will do the same.
This is the prize.
2 minutes already up, eh? Yeah, man.
Minutes up, it's moving.
Anybody been here?
Do we
What
have
about
any
those who driving? How am I supposed to do that while I driving?
Oh, you
Pull
forfeit.
on the side of the road.
Yes, please, we encourage you to pull on the side of the road, safety first,
Exactly.
and like, follow, and comment.
Yes, 2 minutes have been up.
Okay.
Do we have any winners online?
Nobody been yet?
Anyone online?
We going to be find a winner now?
But I told you to then have this man.
No, man, no, no, no.
Membership fee.
I ain't gonna hit my head.
Well, apparently
So,
I'm not
Nikita,
eligible.
I can't hear you. Can you open your mic, please?
So apparently I'm not.
Get out of here.
I've shared, I've posted.
Oh, look at that.
Who is that?
Excellent, Nikita. Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Oh, Nikita and Cat Island. I forgot we got
That's
two
our-
on the call.
Like, wonderful.
Yes.
Did you make a comment, someone, a member in the club? I can't
You're
hear you.
muted,
Your
you're
mic is-
muted.
Your mic is still muted.
I made a comment on the post. I shared it on my page and I'm now tagging Sheila.
Oh,
Oh,
the
okay,
challenge is
good.
now to past
There-
president. Past President Sheila to now do the same. Any other persons online?
Let's see what we. Jamani and stuff like that.
Something smells delicious.
Oh, man. So since I attend with myself, I got a plate for myself.
So our illustrious president has ordered comforters today for everyone who was present in the meeting today. Give it up for our president. That's what we're talking about.
On the screen.
That's why we voted him.
See what it look like on the screen? That's what the comforter look like.
It's real, it's delicious.
They're making it right, that's me.
Yeah.
Now, how many persons are finished here today? Our time is up.
Right, okay.
Mhm.
Down.
Pens down. Who has the most? Please count.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 8.
Does anyone have 20?
I have 15.
Does anyone have more than 15?
We started.
Oh, yeah.
17.
Nice.
We got more than 17.
Going once?
Going once, going twice. So. No, everyone received the form today.
Ah, nice, nice.
Wonderful. So do you want to collect your prize now or do you want to get it after the meeting?
She went right now. Right after the phone.
Too much, man.
Karen and I didn't do very well.
That's true. No, I no, thank you.
You did, you sure did. Thank you.
Your name on it.
Did you get a photo, please?
Good, you know.
Mr. Chair?
I'm very nice. I could take Nikita's gift when I go on Friday, okay? Nikita. And you said you.
Yes, we will send your gift. We did say it will be delivered this week. And I
Yes.
promise it will be delivered this week. So you will also receive your gift this week. And I received a buddy shout out during that break.
Oh, okay.
Dwayne. President Dwayne would like to send a shout out to his buddy,
I wonder who
Nikita.
Nikita Poppy.
Hey, buddy. He also sent you a little goodie bag.
Nice, nice.
So if you want to send your buddy a little gift or a goodie bag, let us know. We'd be happy
I will switch
to deliver it to them. And so, who was today's first online guest in the room? Can that person please open their mic?
What's that, sir?
The first online member to join us today.
I think I might have been, because I don't remember seeing anybody when I
Please state
joined.
your name for the record.
Kendall Francis.
All right, our guest. All right, and future prospective member.
Hi.
All right. So will we be seeing you next week so that you can receive
Yes.
your gift in person?
You'll see me next week.
All right, all right.
On the social.
All right, so if there are no further announcements from our membership chair, I believe with these words, alone, we can do so little. Together,
Together, absolutely.
we can do so much. Those words were spoken by Helen Keller. Good afternoon.
Y'all give it a moment. Sorry, Dottie. Vice President Dottie.
Green Parrot.
Green Pirates, no, but
Green Parrot, yeah.
that's where you're gonna be.
So
picking up.
green, okay, so what happens to Green Parrot, we'll actually have the starter, and then, so that's at 6, and then 6:30, the bus will take us to the second stop.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah,
Go to the mic today, but you may want to.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Apologies, yes, so for the social next week, we will start at Grain Parrots on the 5th day at 6 p.m. So we will actually have the starter at 6 p.m. That shouldn't take more than half an hour, I would think, because we order in advance. And then the bus will actually come to pick us up at 6:30 to take us then to the main course, which is at Cabbage Beach, and then we move on from there. So 6, of course, it's a coaster bus. And just putting in a plug in there, we are using the limousine service, I guess it's called, from Rotarian Rashan, Dr. Rashan. Oh, yeah, this is, so, we try like to stay together, keeping it within the club. Exactly, so he has a coaster bus that actually holds 35, so right now we have 24 persons signed up, so we still have space on the bus if anybody else wants to join.
Yeah,
Okay. We get to work that out in a minute. I need to talk to Yvette.
So-
Yvette have all the games and prizes and things.
Just very quickly, in terms of following what Shannon said, we want all of you all to come out. So it's going to be a very, very fun time for Rotarians and guests. And I like the idea of this whole dash and dine. So make sure it's at 6 o'clock
6 o'clock at Green Parrot.
at Green Park. Everybody come, be casual. We ain't getting none. This can be some good down home stuff. So next week, 6 o'clock, make sure you come out. We're gonna dash and dine, bring your family, bring your children, whomever. But we gotta sign up though to make sure that we know the count so we can have sufficient bus space there to transport everybody. But looking forward to seeing all of you. All of you are online. Mark, we're looking forward to seeing you. We're gonna bring Angelique back with us from Cat Island. So everybody coming to join us next week. So looking forward to seeing you.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you, past President Chantel and President Darren. Rotarian Nikita, are you there?
Which Nikita? You got 2 online.
Nikita, our guest speaker. Nikita Shiaro.
Yep. Yep.
She's there? Okay, is that
Won the prize?
is that how highlighted in green there?
No, this is her.
Yes, good. Okay, so Rotarian Nikita, would you hold me captive, or would you hold me at fault if I don't say all of this wonderful accolades that you have? Would I be fine not to do that?
That's more than,
Okay. Well, I'll condense it. How about that?
that's what I
Fine,
said to you.
That's fine. Okay.
That's perfect.
Rotarian
Once he paid
Nikita,
$20 fine, once he paid $20 fine, he's exempted.
who's that talking? But anyway,
Chairman
Rotarian,
I
Gilbert.
agree, $20 fine for
oh,
not
goodness.
reading the.
Rotarian Nikita Shialro is a climate solutions expert that works at the intersection of science, society, and policy. Thank you very much. Is that fine?
If you
Okay.
think so.
For the sake of time, we leave it like that. You all will get to know Nikita. She's a Rotarian, and you can speak to her offline about all of our wonderful. What?
A member of our club.
Yeah, she's a member. She's what RCN Rotarian. All right, so we definitely get to know her. All right, so without further ado, Rotarian Nikita, I give the floor to you.
Okay, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. Can I just confirm that I have 15 minutes? Or
No.
what's the time?
15
15 minutes.
Okay, all right, I'm going to share my screen if that's okay. But first I want to say it's just great to be here. Again, my name is Nikita Shield-Roll, and I'm founder and CEO of YME Bahamas and the Cat Island Conservation Institute. And I'm sure I've had the pleasure of chatting and probably hanging out with a lot of you in the room. And I'm really excited for those of you who will be joining us in Cat Island next week. So with that, we had our Cat Island Regatta this weekend, and it was amazing. There were so many different people on island. And then I got the invite to speak, and I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to say, because how do you talk about climate in 15 minutes, There's a lot. But what I figured I would anchor in on, let me check my time, is the importance of finance as it relates to climate. So I've had the pleasure of working in the climate space for over 15, 16 years. And in the very beginning, no one really wanted to listen to climate. They didn't really care much about it. They thought we were losing our minds. But now, 15 years later, it is the topic of the day. And what is both interesting and challenging for us as Bahamians is that we're in a precarious situation. We're a small island archipelago, right? So not even just one island like Jamaica, right? We have many islands with many different populations. And of course, we all know that requires infrastructure and the like. And what we're seeing with climate change and the impacts of climate is that it's adding extreme stresses onto just our systems that are not really functioning at best. Whether you're talking about infrastructure, roads, hurricanes washing out roads, beach erosion, when we have to put up seawalls, there's the saying that we say climate adaptation isn't easy to finance. Right? Because building seawalls, while it will save you money in the long run, it's not really a revenue generating activity. And therefore, when you're dealing at some of these high levels from like a country, how do we get the financing that we need so that we can adapt to these changes, so that we can build back better time and time again? We are all feeling the heat. We're all seeing how it's raining more. These changes, especially those of you who are older than I am, you have a lot more lived experience of watching how the climate change has impacted, whether it's even the coral reefs on the screen here. It's so sad. It's so sad to see how hot our waters are and how that's impacting, the coral reefs. And of course, for us, this is hugely important because coral reefs are not only the anchor of our way of life in the Bahamas, from fisheries to tourism, but it's also our huge food source, and it's our defense mechanism against these hurricanes. We can't talk climate also without talking peace. And I think this is why sometimes climate is such a complex conversation. And in countries like the Bahamas, because we're so small, everything is so compounding. So it's not just the biodiversity loss, it's the biodiversity loss, it's the flooding, it's the challenges with our education system, right? There's probably a week or so ago, maybe more than that, headline news, 55% of Bahamians have not graduated from, is there a reason my video's off? Can you still see me?
You were
Okay.
starting to lag, so that's why I did.
Yay, Cat Island internet.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
Sorry about
okay,
that.
there you go.
I was
I'm just technology and infrastructural challenges. So we're so connected as it relates to how we address climate. And my work with the Cat Island Conservation Institute, where it's really grounded in this understanding that research skills are social justice tools, and our task is to train an army of climate leaders, armed not with guns, but with STEAM. And I think for those of us in the Caribbean, in the region, it's really important for us to be aware that the crime on our streets, the children who are not in school, the women who are being constantly abused, all of this is climate, right? So all these words that you see on the screen in no particular size order, but these are the priorities that Caribbean young people have come together to say that we intend to highlight at the COP28 meetings. COP28 stands for the Conference of the Parties, and this is in relation to the United Nations framework for the Convention on Climate Change. So essentially, when all the governments meet somewhere in the world to figure out what we're going to do about climate. And what we have found ourselves in the Bahamas as a precarious situation is that because we are considered a high income developing country, while our GDP, our gross domestic product, does not accurately reflect the entire country, it's still the metric that's used to determine how we can access aid. And so what we found ourselves in as a nation is that we are, when crisis strikes, we're not able to tap into pots of funding that would use, for example, the World Bank as criteria, because they look at us and they're like, oh, you have a lot of money, you don't need it. You don't need our support. You should be able to figure it out yourself. But we all know that there's huge disparity of wealth in our country. And so what I really see when we talk about the future of the Bahamas, as far as climate change is concerned, is that whether or not Bahamians are actually going to be able to afford to live in our country. I think people will continue to be here, but until we are intentional about investing in education, capacity building, and funneling Bahamians into new emerging markets, I think we have a very real risk of missing the boat. And what that looks like is more and more Bahamians leaving the country as migrants, environmental refugees. Of course, as situations in the region intensify, we'll see more and more migration coming our way as people are fleeing other countries, seeking refuge. And there needs to be a plan, right? So climate is, yes, I mean, a quick Google search will show you how intense things have gotten for us, but really what we need to focus on now is where do we go from here? And this has sort of taken me into the intersection of what is the plan to finance our adaptation? And one of the challenges that we are seeing right now as small islands throughout the world is that the global narrative is focusing on mitigation. All right, when I say mitigation, what that means is a lot of the more wealthier countries who have been creating a lot of the greenhouse gas emissions that have been going into the atmosphere that's causing all of this problem to begin with. These countries are looking at, well, like, how do we reduce our CO2 emissions, right? How do we mitigate it? How do we lessen that impact? And this is where, the conversations about carbon credits and blue bonds have all kind of come about. But what is somehow being lost is that countries like ours are drowning in debt, that are struggling to get our feet back on the ground after Dorian and COVID and there's adaptation is not really a priority for the world. So what YME and what I've been working on last year, Young Marine Explorers, in partnership with the government of the Bahamas, convened the first regional conference of youth for the official youth constituency of the UNFCCC. Again, that stands for United Nations Framework on the Convention of Climate Change. Very high picture, essentially what it is that as all the governments represent one constituency, children and youth of the world also represent another constituency. And so this picture was from our closing panel. And so what we're doing this year is we're convening our next meeting, which will be in Barbados. We'll be bringing together young people from different parts of the Caribbean to put together a climate action plan. And when you ask me what climate action looks like, it's grounded in tangible action that translates to more money in everyone's pockets on the ground. And if your solutions aren't putting money in our bank accounts that will enable us to buy the wood to batten up, to be able to relocate when the home gets destroyed to ensure that we have access to fresh water and food and safety. We're not talking adaptation. And so this is why so much of the work of YME Bahamas has really pivoted or expanded, if you will, over the past few years into the social enterprise side, because in the absence of real financing to like revolutionize what education looks like in the Bahamas, nothing's going to change, right? So we cannot be talking climate and not acknowledge that the gang violence in our communities is a component of that, because the changing climate is a direct result of anthropogenic, so human impacts on our environment. I'm at 10 minutes, right? Am I?
Okay.
or
Okay.
do you- Yeah, okay.
You
Do you want me to stop, or what do you want me to do?
Well, oh, your start says that you're at 12 minutes.
Okay, 3 minutes, gotcha. Okay, so what that looks like, so in addition to operating at, to working on policy, what we've been doing is trying to develop social enterprises that will help to jumpstart some of this high level capacity building that's required in our country. If we're going to ensure that we can pivot Bahamians who just do not yet have the skills to adapt, we need to teach people to develop these skills. And this includes everything from Ocean Love Coffee, which is one of the products that we have. We've been leaning really hard into heritage tourism. And many of you probably know Taran Sims, who's been developing some of these projects with us in Kenya. And I'm really excited to talk about this Royal Rain Catchers, because this little rain gauge here in Arthurstown was actually donated by our Rotary Club to the Royal Rain Catchers program. And this Royal Rain Catchers program is a spin-off of, if you will, of the Kokoros rain precipitation study, but it's done in a way to ensure that communities like ours not only participate in the collection of data, but then also analyze it and can really connect the dots about why and how this is important to us. And so these are the countries that we're going to be expanding into this year. So I just wanted you all to know how closely you are part of our climate solutions journey. But with that being said, I'm just going to say Miskana, which is gratitude and thank you. I know this was very short. Like I said, it's impossible to really talk climate in 15 minutes, but my objective for today's talk was just to help you gain perspective of how complex and interrelated this conversation is, how critical it is that we invest and ensure that there are sustainable financing mechanisms, not to support our adaptation, which ultimately means ensuring that Bahamians are elevated out of poverty and can afford to live in our country. Because right now, most Bahamians cannot afford to live here. And this is, yeah, this is where we are. So thank you so much. And sorry that my internet's not working very well, but that's part of the problem.
Thank you, Rotarian Ida. I wish to invite Rotarian Deidre to thank our speaker.
All right, thank you.
Good afternoon. We would like to thank our very own Rotarian Nikita Shield-Roll. You presented on financial resilience for climate adaptation, and it was very informative. It was very concise, and we've learned a lot. I did not know that there was a regional conference of the youth in the Caribbean. So that was something new I learned today. And she gave us very informative guidelines on developing skills to adapt to climate change. We'd like to thank you very much, and we appreciate your efforts.
Thank you, Rotarian Deidre. Just before we open it up for, I'll tell you what, we'll do questions and answers, and then I'll give this announcement. Do we have any questions for our own Nikita, our guest speaker. Picture? Oh, okay. Right there, Nikita, we have a cup for you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, do you have any questions for Terry and Nikita? No questions? Any questions? No? Well, I think I have sort of a question or comment. I'll probably make it, time as I'm finished, it'd be a question. But I know that swimming in swimming pools recently, it's like, as you mentioned, the water is getting very hot, it's very warm. And I find that going inside swimming pools now that's happening. So all this would you would Nikita, you would attribute this to climate change and global warming and the atmosphere warming up, or it's just something that it's just now that's happening, or you would attribute this to the whole issue of global warming?
Yeah, I mean, so July has been the hottest month on record, and each day we've just had consecutive record-breaking heat days all around the world. Everything, including, I mean, there's the forest fires everywhere. Like, there's major changes that are happening, and it's impacting us. And like you said, just the more, like, if you've been in the ocean, I mean, I'm sure the swimming pool is probably ridiculously hot because there's not much flow there. But if you've been in the ocean at all, I mean, it's so very hot. And the corals are showing us this because they're bleaching. They've rejected the zooxanthellae, the algae that gives them the color. And so this is like a big warning sign that our waters are way too hot. And so, you know, in every single way, we are feeling the climate reality, but I think many of us are just not aware of what climate change looks like, right? And so that's why I said the gang violence on our streets is a product of climate change in many, many ways. Just as, you know, when it's flooding and Bay Street floods, or our inability, like the insurance situation right now, right? Like, these are real impacts that impact our economy, impact our health and well-being. And yeah, so as far as it's challenging, I think there's also great opportunity. And that's what is important for us to remember. Where there's crisis, there's great opportunity. And this is why so much of my work focuses on building the capacity so that we can take the opportunity in the crisis and pivot it into economic prosperity for Bahamians.
So just as a follow-up to that, when is the risk to public health and public safety going to really become apparent or really become an issue?
So this is, I mean, this is the slow burn, you know, we are the frog in the, we're the frog in the pot. We've been the frog in the pot for a really long time, and we don't know it. But, and you're seeing it like in Europe, there's been so many people who have been suffering from heat stroke, you know, and this is why it's so important for us to really check in, making sure that we're hydrating, and just taking a very holistic understanding of climate change isn't just this amorphous thing that PM talks about a lot on the news, but it impacts everything from our access to goods and resources. You have to remember, it's the Industrial Revolution that started this, like the excess greenhouse gases into the environment. So it is the economic system that we are active participants in that's also fueling this, which is why it's so important for us to really be intentional about how we pivot in our individual lives and our businesses, but also ensuring that our adaptation to these changes are taken into consideration. And that requires huge amounts of financial resources.
Thank you, Terry and Nikita. I just mentioned that, you know, it really hit home when you just mentioned a moment ago that persons who are suffering from heat stroke. I had an uncle that passed away, I think 2 Wednesdays ago, and he was a bit infirm. He had a back operation, but his power went out. And they said that really because of how hot it was, he had a heat stroke and he died. And so that's what's happening. So thank you. So this is at home. This is really hitting us now. All right. So with that said, I also wish to also give a bit of somber news, and that is that our Rotarian Victoria Ambrose, she's not with us today because her granddaughter was injured this morning. So we asking that if Rotarians, we can keep Rotarian Victoria Ambrose in our thoughts and our prayers as a family deals with this this tragedy, this injury. All right. Do you have fines, account for fines and raffles? I think that's the segment we on now, right? Yeah. Secretary money. Well, not secretary, treasurer.
Assistant treasurer.
Assistant treasurer money, yes. Okay, we have the count, we have the numbers.
That's my camera.
Okay, I'm told that fines are $15. How can that be? How can that be? Huh? Fines, $15.
Should be more than that.
Raffle, I think this is not the other way around. No, that's probably not the way around. I think the other way. Raffle raise a whopping $75. Very good. I think you deserve a part of the back for that. Like there it is. But definitely, is it the fines? I don't feel that motto. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? You know, yeah, something's happening with that. So, let your conscience be a guide.
Yes.
All right. Now we have the what's it called?
The raffle.
Oh, raffle. Yes, thank you. Okay. So that's a good raffle. You don't do any yeah, let's go. Check his ticket anyway. Thank you, Darian, past presidents, 2 times. Raffle number 488-505. You got that? Okay, Darian, past president.
I hope with the way.
You know the prize already? You know the prize.
You know, the president comes with me on.
I just checked the number.
Okay.
Get ahead of yourself. Okay, you good.
We're only gonna shake hands because Victoria actually has the raffle prize this week, so I'll get it from her later.
I will shake your hand. You got it.
Thank you.
All right.
What's up? Huh? Oh, God.
All right,
Four-way
so yeah, can we do the 4-way test? Ask Rotarian past president Dwayne to lead us in the 4-way test, please. And everyone can stand. Because that I know that tastes good, but it'll still be there when you come back.
Way to put on the spot, Mike.
Hello, Rotarian. Please join me in saying the 4-way test. The things we think safe. Want to do? Is it the truth?
Is it fair to all concerned? Will build and friendships. Will have beneficial for all concerned.
And not.
Fine. Please join me in the loyalties. The toast, right? I always get it mixed up for some reason. Okay, Rotary around the world. Rotary around the world. Right, have a good week, everybody.
Where you going?
Oh, yes. Yeah, this former sergeant, man, look at he, but you know, yeah, you get your order, man. Stop dodging me, man. And you're a Darius.
Give him some Dottie. You don't get him open your glass.
Some Dottie colored water.